Timmy, start deep.
Dive.
Take us away, Timbo.
Improved cat, not great.
Not great, yeah.
I was
It's
still
an improvement on nothing, but
Yeah.
we need
Hey,
more.
On
I
account
was-
of having said it.
I was still laughing at Willie Sharpe.
What do we got?
Firstly, we're going to recall last week's one, mate, because the doc didn't get updated and I chose not to.
Yeah, smart footy.
Tom Gilbert, mid-60s, one of the buys of the week. We touched on him.
He's looking a bit grizzly, Tom Gilbert, just quietly.
Jesse Arthurs. Did I shit-can him slightly as a buy? Maybe I did. Still got 90 odd though. Toby Couchman, who's going to feature again this week, came out and played 70 minutes. Jack Howarth came out 94 or something. The deep dive is where it's at.
Yeah, 100%. I think Toby Couchman, mate, is a really good example of what you mentioned before, just looking at players' roles and all that sort of stuff. His brother obviously did an ACL. There was a HIA in there. He got enormous minutes off the back of that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he played 70 minutes. I think he'll play 50, 55 every week. I still think he's a very interesting dude.
Which segues nicely into our first plays, and it is the Dragons pack.
Fuck yeah. I saw that coming.
Yeah, well done, mate. I know
Try
you're on top
assist
of that.
early. They'll probably give me a TC, the bastards. That was all me.
Toby Couchman, 483k, scored 69 points in 70 minutes with 61 in base. The best thing about it, Rude, dual position to our front row forward. Averaged 38 minutes per game last season. So let's say that drops from 70 to like 50. There's still value in him as a buy.
Yep.
Could be a cracker. The other one there, one that you may have touched on last week, is a bit of a watch. Hamish Stewart. We want to see what his minutes look like, but made the unfortunate injury to Ryan Couchman, devastating for the poor bugger done his ACL, but it is potentially going to open to minutes for that pack. And Stewart's got 42 points in 42 minutes. He's bottom dollar at front row. So he could be a nice little move from Royce Hunt next week before any price changes. Sorry, Dragons have the bye next week. So we get another...
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about buying these guys next week. We can have a look in round 2 and then have a look at buying ahead of their first price rise in round 4.
Sweet. Two things I would say on Hamish Stewart, and thankfully we have got that extra week to keep an eye on, and we get to watch him this weekend, see how he goes. I think he stays in this side, but there's a potential swap between Blake Laurie and David Clemmer that could happen, which is fine. Blake Laurie's in the side this week. Clemmer will come straight in. The only other thing I'm concerned about, mate, and I actually don't have up in front of me when he returns, but Harm Saleh has still got to come back into this side at some point. That's the only thing that concerns me about Hamish Stewart is that when Saleh is available, does he knock him out of this side? Which I would assume you probably keep RFM in the side and you play Harm Saleh over Hamish Stewart.
Yeah, the only beauty of Stewart is Harm Saleh is never fit.
Yeah, he is never fit, 100%.
Hey, he's been training with Helen.
He has been.
Has
He's probably
he?
about to win a Dally
Yeah,
M,
you
to be
saw
fair. Egg all over your face.
You saw Bronson Cherry, right? What a season!
Yeah,
You
incredible.
could say that was all Helen.
I want nothing more than Harm Saleh to fire under Helen, and he probably will.
Yeah.
wanna see
Well,
him on
she
the
says
field.
he's a natural, so
Okay.
Thanks, Selwyn. He'll be back in very, very soon. So that's the only thing that I have concerns about there. But we'll watch him this week. We'll see how he goes. I know, see how he's on the pod every week. He's had a bit to do with the Dragons. He rates Hamish Stewart massively. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. Just depends what happens as per the title of the dot point, Dragons pack.
We will.
I like it. What's next? What do we got?
You going to read out the heading or what?
Jack Goz and Corey Pakes. More W's and X's than I ever expected to see in a Supercoach topic. I have concerns about both of these guys. I might throw the floor to you first, though.
I thought you were about to just swoop in on my stats. And I was
No,
like, mate,
take it away.
Whose deep dive is this? The Goz, Jack Gosiewski, 80 minutes in round 1. I'm happy to put my hand up and say I did not see this coming. I thought with Brendan Piakura on the bench, he would play 50 to 60.
Yep.
He got the 80. Whether or not that is the norm going forward, round 1's a good indicator, so maybe it is. 80 points in 66 minutes. Scored a try, had a line break in the process. Remove that, and he scores 40 points with 33.
No, wait. 66 points in 80 minutes.
Yeah, what did I say?
Oh, the other way around. You had me confused. Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, 66 points, yes.
66 points in 80 minutes. Take out the try and line break. 40 points he scores with 33 in base, which is very poor for an 80-minute back rower. It's a tough one because he screams trap, but I'm just like, if he's a locked-in 80-minute back rower at 232K, there should be some money to be made there. Maybe not heaps, but at least a little bit. The base is so poor, but if he's an 80-minute man, he'll make some cash.
Yeah, mate, I even think you're being generous there. Like if you include the 2 tackle breaks in that play, you include the A over 8 metres, all of a sudden you're into 35 base in 80 minutes. Like, I don't know. You're relying on him scoring a try to go above 50. Realistically, we'll get close to 50.
You're gambling on attacking stats.
Yes.
The way I see it, I have no interest in buying this week. If he comes out and backs it up and finds some more attacking scores, well, we go, all right, there'll be at least some initial cash generation, but he could very easily come out and score 35 in 80 minutes.
If he can go 50 plus this week and he's going to make enough cash in the next few weeks, I'll have a look at him. But yeah, if he gets that low base of 35 points,
we're not going this off one game or what'll be 2 games or whatever. Like, he's always done this in Supercoach.
I feel like I've been watching him for 15 years do this.
And then
Pakes, what do you read into here? I thought this weekend, mate, there was 2 players that looked so much better than their Supercoach score. Campbell Graham and Pakes.
Yeah.
Were the 2.
Can't believe Graham had 21 runs and ended up on like 44.
Honestly, but having been at that game too, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't keeping track of I couldn't hear commentary. I wasn't keeping track of Supercoach. Just from pure optics, he looked like he was in so much control that game.
Yeah. Maybe I'm being slightly critical. Well, I'm not being critical, it is what it is. No tackle bus in his 21 runs, that's where you tackle bus offloads where you just bank points with all your runs. So talking about have a lot of runs, but how many are over 8 metres for the 2 points?
Yep.
For new Supercoach players, a run over 8 metres is 2 points, under 8 metres 1 point, and then the other one is just getting a few tackle bus on there. Anyway, Corey Pakes, you're right. He is one of the best players of the round. The Danny Levi's have been thrown around with Corey Pakes. Yeah, so...
Leave my family out of this. That's rough.
56 points in 57 minutes. That was with a try and a line break. He had 17 base in that time. It gets worse. He had 1 run.
Ugh.
So Pakes is a funny one because he's 232K. He's very cheap. The minutes and base aren't there to see him making cash. He will also be very attack reliant. However, mate, he's looking good. He's looking crafty. Behind this Broncos pack, which was just monstrous on the weekend, maybe they just come. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Sandon Smith wasn't great. I'd rather have him. Riley Smith scored 16. I'd rather have him. He's playing the same amount of minutes. I think he'll get through more base than him, despite what the score on the weekend says. If you've got him, I wouldn't be panicked, but I sure as fuck wouldn't be moving to him.
Fine if you've got him.
Yeah.
And you're going, cool, he looks great. Broncos look great. Happy days. Just buying him is another story. Much like Gosiewski, a lot of us are running probably one cheapy hooker there. It's like if you want to get rid of one of them next week, between all these cheap hookers that are floating around, Riley Smith, Tommy Starling, Phoenix Crossland, a few of these guys, one will emerge and maybe it's Corey Pakes next week. I just think it's worth having another look this week.
Yeah, I agree. The only avenue I can see you trading him out is if you're one of the lucky people to have Connor Watson or Plath in your 2RF, then I can understand making moves to one of the good guys there. But I think you could do so much worse than Pakes. If he comes out and scores 40 this week, that'll give him a 90-point average across a 90-point score across 2 games.
Yeah.
You're doing okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be panicking. Jeral Skelton, talk to me.
He almost did exactly what I expected.
Yeah.
62 points. You read his stats, how the hell did he only end up on 62? Scored a try, the line break, had 23 runs and 5 tackle busts, and you go, oh my goodness, that is elite scoring. I know, how does it equate to 62? Scoring-wise, he could be a Supercoach Adonis. However, job security concerns me because of defence. And he was all right in this one, but he made 0 tackles and missed 3. Defence, not Jeral's strong
It's the old
point.
Nathan Durkin stat line. Made famous by the one and only.
So Skelton is interesting because he's got the margins about him where he'll finish a lot of tough tries, he'll have a lot of carries, bust a lot of tackles, and just be a beast. Early days Marju where I'm not convinced on job security.
The only thing, I can't push back on anything you've said there, the only thing I think helps his job security, mate, is that they just have no middles. And I think he's so important coming out of their own end. He's essentially another front rower in that side. He might be the second best front rower on the team after Terrell May, realistically. I think when you pick Skelton, you know what you know the fire you're playing with. You're going to get burnt occasionally, but I just think the warmth you're going to get from what he does, Tim, I think Benji sort of wears it. But I get where you're coming from.
He's another owner's going, you beauty, how good. Non-owner, I'm just going, yeah, he's one rubbish defensive game away from, there's a few options they've got there and he's getting, and could get dropped. Not saying it's going to happen, but just be aware.
100% be aware of it, yes. Crazier, much crazier things have happened. Fletcher Sharpe, mate, I think this will be my shittest call of the entire preseason. I hated him playing 5'8". I've watched it for a trial and a game, and I actually love it. I think he's going to do really well in the role. The whole Dill Brown thing's a conversation for another day, but I'm really liking Fletcher Sharpe. I sort of looked at him as a bit of a pod play, and if he was 100k cheaper, I think I would have dived on him. It's probably just too much. I cowered it out and get him in draft, and I kind of regret it all. I think he's going to have a huge season.
He's that shit price at 636k. He's just one that I just feel I'm going to sit here and like you be a coward for the next 2 months.
You do that, to be fair.
I do that. Yeah.
You have. I wasn't going to say it to you, and I wasn't going to bring it up, but you have real coward tendencies.
That's all right.
I'm glad we got here.
Got me second overall in Supercoach, so I'm not too concerned. He just looks good, right? So 83 points in round one. The Knights only scored 2 tries in that game. 14 runs, which for a 5'8" is unreal. 10 tackle busts. He's just good. Bit of Lockie Galvin about him where because he's so energetic and on ball and runs, things just happen and points accrue.
I love, mate, the try. I said it on Blake the other day, and from a Supercoach point of view, I love it even more. They made a break. He didn't wait at first receiver and trust someone else to get him the ball. He just got to dummy half and thought, I'll just score this try. I love that in my Supercoach players. I think he's a guy that I will struggle to own, but I would love to have him at some point. Interesting watch, mate, during the Origin period. If KP's playing Origin and they maybe shift like a Tyson Gamble to 5'8" and he jumps into fullback, that could be an enormous month, worth noting. Also a goal kicker. So Origin time could be very interesting for Fletcher Sharpe.
Available at CT Dub.
Delicious.
Yeah, so put it this way. If anyone wanted to go it this week, they do have the bye in round 4, so maybe watch the first 3 rounds. If he kills it, cops a decent price rise of 50k or whatever, pick him up for not that much more expensive come round 5 after that bye. But if anyone wants to get him this week and have bigger gonads than us, not a huge achievement, go for it. I'm
go
not
for
knocking
it. Jack Gos, Skelton, Sharpe, 3 very good-looking Roosters, now onto one that's very bang average looking, a real rotten egg. Phoenix Crossland, talk to me.
Huge. Just an interesting one. 341k. A few chat about him about like that cheapy hooker spot. Dual hooker halfback. Scored 51 points in 60 minutes. He had 50 tackles in that game.
Fuck, he's good, eh?
This is Fox Sports tackles, which like I don't know what NRL had him down for, but NRL like they pay him out way more. I suppose the concern here, Adam Elliott coming back in. He spent a bit of time with Brayley on, I believe, playing sort of that 13 role, did he? And does Adam Elliott just take more minutes through there? And does he...
Mate, I think the other thing you got to consider as well, that was Frizzell's first game of the year. He only played 39 minutes.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe Frizzell's going to play 39 minutes
So the minutes that, cross the mate, unless they just go, mate, we want you 65 at hooker and whatever happens with Brayley, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, sounds like he's probably signed with the Raiders. But just with Elliott to come back in, more for Frizzell, and with he's going to be more than a 39-minute man.
But I think there's also a world where Croston could play those same minutes, and when Frizzell and Elliott are on, they're just told just play as middles.
They're just another prop.
Yeah. I would rather Croston in that role than both of those two.
So, yes, for that reason, I'm waiting another week for sure, but he could be a buy.
I agree. I also think, obviously, with the news breaking or about to break, or I don't know if it's rumoured, whatever's happening with Jaden Brayley, like, I wonder, mate, if he's not going to be there next year anyway, they're going to have to play Crosland for 80. Do they just start to lean into him?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's not a move that I'll be making, but I think it could be a good one for people out there. I like.
He's another like classic.
49 tackles done on NRL.com.
Wow, more on Fox than NRL.com.
Weird.
Put
Very
that
weird.
To bed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, it works.
You're on the money, yeah.
He's another one where I'm just like, watch, and then, again, probably cop, if he goes well, 50k price rise, maybe max, buy him after that buy. But I also am aware that there's a lot of players stacking up, only have 3 trades next week. So anyway.
What is Phoenix? Is he hooker halfback
Yep.
in Supercoach?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.